despite what their moms told them. They just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. Thank you for tuning in, hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. This is your Liberty post game, a 24-21 grudge match. And early season must win for the Orange.
Yes, sir.
I think. And the Orange are going to start 3-1. And I think that's huge. We're halfway to a bowl game and all of that fun stuff. So we've got a lot to talk about, including the Cuse fan civil war that's brewing. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But as always, first let's hear from Coach.
What were your impressions of Mr. Schrader?
You know, I thought Garrett did the things that we asked him to do. There's one thing when you're on this football team and Sean Tucker's running the ball the way he is. You know, our number one job is to find ways to make sure he gets the ball. And I think it's pretty evident that we've got coaches and players and everybody working to try to find ways to make sure he doesn't just disappear in a football game. But I thought that for his first outing, it was good. You know, what I told the guys is that all the rules and all the bells and whistles and all that stuff is off. You know, I've got to do things that's going to help us and allow us to win football games. And the one thing, the team that we were playing this week, we really felt that there was certain things that we could take advantage of with Garrett Schrader's legs, okay? Now, Garrett will start off because we won the game next week, but we need everybody in our locker room to be able to go through the schedule that we're going through. We can't guarantee that we're going to be able to do what we did tonight versus some other opponents that are on our schedule. And we have to have the flexibility to be able to move in and out of offenses and do it in different ways.
What you can say about the defense and what they did against one of the best in the country?
I thought they were amazing, especially with the fourth down stop. That was big. That was big. I mean, they could have kicked a field goal right there, and they went for it. And wow. The biggest thing is we found a way to win a football game. The decision was made extremely, extremely late, and the quarterbacks knew before anybody else.
How did you tell Tommy that's a tough thing to do?
Face to face. I will definitely say that we need to throw the ball better. I mean, I'm not going to. In dealing with quarterbacks and dealing with offenses and dealing with football teams, you have to have certain standards, and the standards can't change. And you can't settle for things. You know, we need to be able to throw the ball better than what we threw the ball. And we'll find a way to work on those things, and they need to change. They need to be better. I think this win for the community and this win for the university and the student body tells you exactly how much the 12th man is value. There were third down. I'm telling you guys, it got loud in there. And I don't know how many people we had, and God bless everybody that showed up, but it got loud in there, and they had trouble on third down, and they definitely had trouble on fourth down.
Schrader fakes the give and the pitch, breaks a tackle. Schrader to the house. Schrader keeps it this time.
Love it.
He's got some space. He's got a big chunk on third down. Bingo! Andre Schmidt has ice in his veins on a Friday night in Syracuse. And the Orange get revenge against the Flames from Liberty.
All right, the coach montage is brought to us by Spotify Green Room. Go to your iOS or Android store and download the app today. This is how we are going to do fan feedback, coupled with the socials. And we usually hit up fan feedback Sundays at around 8-ish. You can expect that. You can sign up for notifications. If you don't feel like listening to us, we don't blame you. There's plenty of other things there to follow, including music, pop culture. I think I even saw fashion when I was playing around. So you can follow a number of things, but you don't have to just follow. You can do your own thing. You can start your own thing, talk about whatever the hell you want. And you have people follow you. They can join your green room. You can interact with them. So it's a cool little way to get caught up and also join us live, and it'll be recorded. And you can tell your friends that you're on the show, which is not a big deal at all. But go to your iOS or Android store. Just download the app, will ya? Please. Thank you. All right, Joe.
Sean.
Okay, let's try
Big win.
Big win. I think there was never a doubt. There's never a doubt. They had that game.
No, come on, dude.
We're gonna run through the coach montage. The first thing that we're gonna hit up is the quarterbacks, and apparently still somewhat of a controversy. And we can try to hit all of this kind of in a single package here. Coach said his first outing was quote unquote good. Okay. He said he's going to start next week, and he was basically started against Liberty because of the matchup. And I guess, Joe, we can expect that going forward. Gives him a little bit of different looks, some flexibility amongst his quarterback squad with the two guys. So I guess that's what we're going to do. I guess sometimes we're going to be like an RPO type football team where we're just going to run and dink and dunk. And then, who knows what time he's going to do. I mean, he's been kind of doing some of that stuff too. So I guess we don't really know.
So this is pretty much what I get out of it, right?
Okay, go.
Dino mentioned, especially in his post game, that there was some things that he noticed, and I think there was, again, to me, this whole game was more of like, it gave me more confidence in the coaching, because
he almost stealthy coaching.
He made a call based upon the next team they were going to play and what we needed that quarterback to be able to do and what we were going to do. And, we were successful with it. If you would have told me in the beginning of the game that Garrett Schrader went 6 of 15 for 77 yards, then I'd probably say we would have lost the game, except for we've seen a shift as far as the orange is the new fast to we're going to kind of shift our offense to our personnel, and giving Sean Tucker 32 carries, him getting 169 yards and a touchdown, and just being the running back that he's been, something that probably should have done at Rutgers. That's kind of our identity right now, right? Mm-hmm. And we needed a guy out there that he knew was going to be able to give make his legs a weapon. And Garrett Schrader, with 16 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns, did that. And, I know there's a lot of people out there that are upset that Tommy didn't start. A lot of people out there that are like, great. He didn't look great in the passing game and everything.
We'll get to that.
They did what they needed to do to win this game. And I'm not 100% sure that coach even really knows, I don't think we're out of the doghouse of whether or not this is a 2 quarterback situation or not. But he went with Garrett. He won the game, and therefore he should go with Garrett the next game starting. But that does not mean by any means that that DeVito shouldn't get some burn at some point, because now you talk about a reverse leash when we talked about DeVito before. And, there are going to be teams that are going to be able to stop this whole RPO kind of situation, and they're going to need to be able to beat teams with, throwing the ball. I mean, we only had 4 guys catch balls, with the leader being Sean Tucker with 2 catches for 27 yards, Taj Harris right behind him with 2 catches for 20 yards. need more out of that situation. So our defense is good enough, and our quarterback did what he needed to do to be able to beat this team. But I'm not so sure that it's going to be enough for every team we play against.
No, I don't think so. But if you guys think that I'm not on social media much, well, Joe's on it even less. So
Yep.
I was just I was scrolling through some of the fan feedback and stuff yesterday, and was thinking, man, a lot of people. I've never seen so many people kind of like upset or irritated by the fact that their team won, but just with the quarterback that they didn't want to play. It's very weird. It's a weird feel.
Yep.
We won the game. Everybody saw all of the glaring issues, okay? And we can talk about that in a second. But with a similar game plan, I think Syracuse beats Rutgers. The reason that they really lost was because they abandoned the run. And what they did against Liberty was just shove it down their throat every chance they got. And, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
And they were kind of forced to in a way because, I mean, we didn't have to, but, we got down to being down 2 scores. And, really realistically, Tommy, he was not showing his legs. He was not showing that option, and they started to shut down Tucker, and that's when we started throwing the ball, and that's where things kind of fell apart. So again, this is kind of, to me, kudos on the coaching staff to seeing that, hey, this guy might not throw like Tommy, but with his legs and with his decision making as far as what we need to do to win, he kind of gives us the better chance against this team. And again, I'm right there with you. Who knows what would have happened if we would have just kept him in the whole game, the whole second half against Rutgers? We don't know. We do know that, again, with him coming in, we take a hit with, throwing the ball, and I'm sure the receivers aren't crazy happy about that. But at the end of the day, a W is a W. And I don't want a receiver on my team that is going to be mad that he only got 2 catches, but we still won the game. So,
yeah, Dino with the ultimate poker face too. I mean, what a great job, right?
Yeah,
so,
we were way off.
So
everybody was. Everybody thought Tommy was going to start that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt I thought that Tommy was going to start, and just by the looks that Dino was given. So good on him. I mean, he fooled everybody. Or maybe he was going into there, and then, like he said, it was a late decision. Defense.
He said he was still evaluating. Let him know. So
yeah, defense hitting their stride at the right time. Michael Jones leads the team with tackles in a game again with 8 for this game. Up at the top of the board there for the year. Just an absolute animal on the field on defense, and enough can't be said, obviously, about the defense. The 4th down stop, that was just huge. When Hugh Freeze should have kicked a field goal there. In hindsight, right? You're trying to put the game away. I understand that, but the defense was stout all night. Also, both teams missed one. I think on back-to-back drives.
Early.
First
quarter.
Yeah. So, a gutsy call by Hugh Freeze. Turned up nothing, and our defense just man, enough can't be said. It's just like the Sean Tucker situation. Like, there's not enough that can be said that hasn't already been said, and we just get to enjoy it, right? And we had a little bit of a conversation last episode for the Liberty preview. Something along the lines of, do we really know what our defense is yet? Do we really know because of the teams that we played and things like that? But I think, to stop Malik Willis the way that they did, I mean, and, he got away 49 yards, and he threw for over 200 with 3 touchdowns, some long ones there, but a few, 4 of them over 20. So, but all in all, a good job. He's going to get loose, and he's going to make long throws. They're going to connect.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that they're saying is going to be a first-round pick as far as quarterback goes, especially the way that quarterback's being played in the NFL this year. And if there was any question, I I know I listened to Locked On, right, and I talked to or listened to a little bit of what they were saying, and they were talking about, our record against teams that we played against that have NFL quarterbacks. And I think they said something like the only quarterback in like the last 4 years or 3 years or something that we beat that plays in the NFL is Ryan Finley. The 1 year when we went 10-3 with Dungy and we beat him in the Dome, NC State. So going into this, it wasn't really looking good, and this kind of really defined to me like that our defense is a little bit different this year than last year. We're a lot deeper on the defensive line. Cody Roscoe, I'll tell you, unsung hero, that guy. And Marlo
Wax. Yeah.
Marlo Wax he's becoming one of my. I mean, Mikael Jones, hard not to like, right? But Marlo Wax, with a name like that, and I remember talking about him when he was coming in, watching the tape, everything like that. He's turned into everything that I thought he would. As second year, coming in and basically taking over the job over Canton Arku, and Canton Arku is good as well. So just seeing these guys elevate, and this game to me,
Okechukwu has been phenomenal.
Oh God, phenomenal, yeah. And you talk about just our secondary, which we gave up some big plays. Garrett Williams gave up a couple passes that I don't think he normally would, and Deuce Chestnut, freshman, he got beat on that out and up, and that's going to happen, but you need to see it at that speed and at that level to be able to adjust your game to learn from that. But overall, this defense stepping up on that fourth down, like you said, when Liberty most definitely should have kicked the field goal. And then with that one play, I was talking to Heather when we were watching the game, and, it was one of those things where I told her straight up, like, if there's not a turnover, I think Liberty's going to win. It all depends on the big play turnover. If Liberty has a turnover or there are no turnovers, I think they're going to win. We need a turnover. And we stepped up, made a big play, and we were fortunate enough to run that clock out and kick that field goal to right at the end, not even give them a chance to get the ball back. So definitely a great win. Defense, it just showed to me that they're for real. Sorry, they are. To hold a team like that for under 400 yards, I think it was 369, something like that. In the past, we're against an offense like this, we're giving up more than that, especially more than 21 points.
369. Yeah, total. So, yeah, obviously, and a lot of we don't. There's a lot of names to mention. It hasn't always been like that.
No, yeah.
There's a lot of names to mention because everybody's doing their part. They're gelling. They're really hitting their stride right at the right time. We talk about
Stephon
that.
Thompson has some great plays.
We talk about that a lot with Max Mang. He's on offense, but these guys, all of them, just doing their thing everywhere to make a difference, and just finally starting to see something kind of come together. As far as the past couple of years have been obviously a little bit tough. So, throw the ball better. Coach says we got to throw the ball better. Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. Okay, 6 for 15, 77 yards. Okay, that's the one stat you're gonna see pop up all over the place on social media. But, his first start. Okay, he got to start the game and finish the game. All right, first time in an orange uniform getting to do that. He's been doing piecemeal the whole time. And with that said, Tommy DeVito in his first start against Ohio this year, and you can make your argument here, but 11 for 17 for 92 yards. Not exactly lighting it up.
No.
Okay? When we're talking about Ohio Bobcats.
Right. No, Garrett Schrader, okay, so his QBR was 34.1, right?
Yeah.
But you can't take away the fact that, 16 carries for 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's always falling forward. He took a bunch of tough hits, got right back up, right? So, and on top of that too, I talked to you about it like at halftime, whatever. But going into that halftime in the first half, we had that he had that pass to Sherrod Johnson, a little bit behind him, but 100% catchable, and that would have been a first down. We kept the drive going, and instead we end up punting, and we end up actually giving up a touchdown. So
in the snaps. I mean, look, the dude's chasing the ball all over the place. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
he
And that's the one thing where Service is better at center, and that's where he was in his freshman year, when redshirt freshman year or whatever, when he came in, he was starting when Dungy was there. But again, he's got to get used to the whole snap thing, and like you said, a whole bunch of snap stuff was going wrong. And like I said, I mean, if you got receivers other than Taj Harris, I mean, other receivers got to step up. So it's something that we definitely have to work on for sure, especially if you want to beat some good teams, because they're definitely just going to load the box and just force us to throw. So I just think that it was a very smart coaching move, and hopefully Garrett Shredder and them, they can improve and they can kind of work on some pass plays that can work for them in the future going forward, obviously.
All right, one more thing. Obviously, I got the Otto's Army hat on. I'm going to rep this thing every show until they don't show up, because they've been everything inside that dome.
So
students.
loud for what was there.
Yeah, the students themselves showing out. Obviously, a little light on the local turnout, but the place was rocking. Man, it was rocking. Obviously, and Hugh Freeze said he said, well, we underestimated the noise. Mm-hmm. So, everybody that was there, pat yourselves on the back. You did a phenomenal job, and that's the 12th man stuff. That's the advantage that we have of the dome. They took
That's
away
the little stuff.
They took away, they added AC, so we kind of lost that a little bit. We get those early games in the season when it's brutal in there. So we lost that, but we have you guys, and excellent job. Came across the TV, excellent, and everything. So.
Yeah, I mean, dude, overall, look, you got to look at it in two different ways, and this is why it's going to be a positive for me, right? Special teams got better. We won penalties. We only had 5 penalties for 37 yards, so they're 7 for 69. And our coaching has finally kind of changed to be able to help our players be more successful. The offensive play calling, although pretty vanilla, called what was working in kudos to him as well. So
you got to stop it, right?
You got to do, yeah, exactly. You got to stop it. And that was the first time in a very long time where I saw this coach and these offensive coordinators come through and say, like, look, we're going to run this, and we're going to stop it. And I even talked to you at halftime, and I said, I'm worried because Schrader's going to have to throw it. And because I thought that Liberty was going to be able to shut the running game down, because they're like, this is all they're doing. So obviously they're going to shut it down. But they never really shut it down. And so you got to beat it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not going to stop something that's working as a defender or defensive unit, it's going to keep happening. That's how you play the game.
Right. But we talked about that with Rutgers, and their discipline on penalties, turnovers, coaching, special teams, all those facets is what won this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think that about...
And Sean Tucker.
Well, obviously, that's the obvious, right? We didn't mention Sean because obviously
we'll get into him. Yep.
We'll talk about it in some fan feedback. But 169 yards, 32 carries. They were wearing his little butt out. So one more thing I would say just about Garrett, and I think that he's going to have to learn how to be a little bit more careful running. And he did things that I just don't want to see him get taken out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He took a huge shot.
See something. Oh yeah, he did.
He's
got to tighten up that helmet.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, well,
I don't know if it's the beard or what, but I can never tell if his chin strap's actually on his chin.
I think it could be the beard, man. Yeah.
And then I know that like the first game when he was in there, when we played against Rutgers, I believe. He got like one of those little like rubber pellets stuck in his eye. So I saw this game that he actually had the visor on.
Yeah, he had a clear visor.
He's learning.
Yeah.
He's learning. He's getting a little bit smarter with it.
Do you remember when Dungy used to get walloped and he'd get up and he'd just pound his chest type stuff? You saw a little bit of that in Garrett Schrader. And he
a little bit.
He did some things too, especially that one touchdown run where He went through his reads. He actually looked off to the right, like to see what was going on, and quick took off, and it was like a 9-yard run. Tommy's not going to be able to do that, guys. I'm sorry. Like he's obviously better in certain aspects of the game, but Tommy's going to take a hit there. He's probably either going to get sacked or who the hell knows, or just throw the ball away maybe at best. So, but he's not going to be able to do that.
That's the difference right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really.
Yeah.
I see a lot of young Dungy with Schrader, but he's already bigger than what Dungy was as a second-year player. And
take the slide, be a little bit smarter. You don't need to take the hits. If you want to play, you got to be healthy to play.
Right, but you have to also understand that this guy is trying to win over.
I understand that. Yeah.
He's trying to win over the locker room.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And I mean, if you didn't after this game, I don't know. It's hard because, again, as much as we see like the fans split on the quarterbacks, what do you think about some of these guys that have been with Tommy for 4 years? Yeah. Versus a guy that comes in, he's a little bit different, right? How about different from Tommy? Like Tommy's just, Jersey Shore, New Jersey, you know what I mean? And this guy's a Charlotte country boy. So 2 different types of players, and he's coming in from the SEC, and he's still trying to basically win over the team, win over the locker room.
Yeah.
So that they think that he has the best chance to win. There's probably still people in that room that thinks that Tommy gives them the best chance to win. I just that's what they're fighting right now. Not really the coaches. The coaches are waiting for the players to see it. And I think that's where they're at right now. And I think that this game was really, really good push for the players to see that, okay, this guy actually might give us a better chance to win than Tommy, even though we've been here for 4 years. So,
yeah. Well, now I guess that wraps that up, and we'll get into a little bit more of this. But first, before we get into fan feedback, I'm going to tell you about the Spotify Green Room app one more time. Go to your iOS or Android store, download it, okay? Put it on your phone. All you need is a username and password and an email address. Plug those in, and you're off. Follow us at Cuse Militia on there. Sign up for notifications. That way, when we go live, you will know. We're not going live on Green Room tonight, which is unfortunate, but we can't do it. But most of the time, 99.9% of the time, we'll be there. And you don't have to just follow us. You can do whatever you want. You can start your own thing. You can follow other people. It's a really cool little format, and it's very easy to use. So again, iOS or Android store, go there. Download that. Username, password, and an email address, and you're off. That's it. That's all it takes. It's very simple.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right. You guys know what to do at the end of every game. I will ask for your thoughts on said game, and you give them. You go there, and I had a very difficult time picking them today, this morning, because of how many there were, and some of them there were some conversations and people going back and forth. I had to sneeze. Sorry.
I saw that.
people going back and forth. And, there's a lot of people upset. I mean, it's like either Team Tommy or Team Garrett, I guess, is how I would put it at this point. And because Garrett got the start, I think we're starting to hear the Team Tommy get a little loud. And I like it. I think it's good, but a win is a win. I don't really care who we start as long as we're winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's really my thing, right? Like, I understood it, and I think we were all surprised, especially when I texted you. I texted a whole bunch of people, like, Schrader's starting. Like, Mike McAllister broke it from Stephen Bailey. Okay, Schrader's starting, and everyone was like, what? Like, nobody really, and we went through it, and I was fully expecting, either it's going to work or it's not, and Tommy's going to come in, and, he kind of held his own and did what he needed to do to get the game done. So, I mean, hopefully, the passing and stuff like that, again, that comes down to coaching and figuring out what plays we're going to do to, help and complement the receivers and the quarterback to make it a little bit easier. But it just seems to me like, at least in this matchup, Garrett Schrader's legs were we're a better situation.
Yeah. Tim P on Facebook. If this trend continues, I don't see Tommy wanting to stay here. That was a slap in the face as far as I'm concerned. The damage may have already been done. So many head-scratching decisions by Dino these past 2 years. I think we win by more with Tommy. So, I don't know. We'll never know, right? So, I mean,
That's tough.
I did take a poll, and I set this up yesterday morning, not because I saw that, but I just was curious what everybody was thinking. In your opinion, does Syracuse win if Tommy gets all the snaps instead of Garrett? 225 votes. Only 19% of people said yes. Who cares? We won, 29%, and no, 52%. So the majority of people say no. They think that Garrett was the right decision to put in for that game. And I mean, we can sit here and, go back and forth about it. But at the end of the day, obviously it was the right decision to win. If you win by 1 or you win by 20, it doesn't matter,
right?
In my opinion.
Right.
So,
and my question is those 2 runs that Garrett Schrader had and some of those other runs he had, key runs. I mean, he had a bunch of runs that got him first downs or touchdowns. Is Tommy doing that?
I just don't know if he's got the athleticism to grab some of the snaps either. But I think he's more athletic. I think Tommy's got a better arm. I mean, Garrett needs to work on his accuracy down the field. Has he completed one? I mean, has he completed a long throw? What's his longest throw of the year?
The first one.
The first one, yeah. He totally missed him. So that was terrible right from the get-go. Yeah, and we understand. I get it.
Look, it's not terrible, but I mean,
that was not great. That was not great, Joe. But yeah, that was not great.
Obviously, you want to hit that, right?
Right.
But it's a chance you take. First play of the game.
Yeah.
What
do you think about, and we talked about this a little bit, the idea that Tommy or Garrett, for that matter, if they decide to start one over the other, may want to leave. So the way it sounds to me, though, is I don't think it's a situation like that. And obviously, they're going to know more than we know because I'm sure Coach has told them. So Coach said as much in his press conference that it's going to be situational. It's going to be fluid. And he realizes he has the flexibility. He knows the strengths and weaknesses of each of these guys. And we can probably still see them both going forward. So we are going to run a more traditional college offense in that respect. So I think we'll see what happens. No,
I mean, look, if you can control the line of scrimmage and you can rush for 228 yards and keep the time of possession around half and stay in the game, then you got to go with that. But again, there's probably going to be teams and there's going to be times where I guess what it is Schrader, he's got the legs, right? He's given him a chance to get his throwing right. If his throwing doesn't get right, if we're losing this game, he's not completing passes. We need him to throw. Probably seeing Tommy. But that's one of those things. I mean, it was a big thing for me, especially watching from TV like that when they had like the offensive huddles and stuff. Tommy was up there. Tommy was in there. Tommy was involved. Didn't want to see bad body language from him or anything like that. And you really didn't. And so I think that the message there was, hey, look, because of this matchup, we're going to go here, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get, you got to be ready. He went 50-50 as far as reps all week as far as practice goes. So, again, I think he understands. I think the coaching staff understands what they have, and they just have to make it work.
Yeah. Robert on Facebook. So everyone here knows my feelings about DeVito. So I'll just say thank you, Dino. 26th ranked team in the nation. Solid win. Defense solid. Liberty's QB is a first rounder. Tucker is a stud. Got to fix the center QB exchange. Big win. Yeah. As I mentioned when we did the preview, they're a fringy top 25 team. Now, obviously, after this, they're going to most likely drop. But nonetheless, they've lost 2 games in the past 15.
Something like that. 15, yeah.
15. So
think about it, too. We beat Rutgers. We're probably getting votes and thinking about getting ranked.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know if we're talking ranked.
Rutgers, I'll tell you what.
Huh?
That was one of the more positive things. Seeing Rutgers lose they only lost 20-13 to Michigan at Michigan this weekend. So they gave a good fight against a good Michigan team, ranked Michigan team. So again, Rutgers looks a little bit better than what I previously thought. So
Yeah. Yeah, Tucker's a stud, Robert. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Robert
absolutely.
with the Raiders emblem profile picture. So extra little shout out to
Sean
Robert
Tucker
for that.
is a stud. Like, can we talk about him for a second?
Yeah, we could talk
Like,
about him, but what do we want to say?
RG3, he tweeted who his
Top five
Heisman candidates would be.
Yeah.
And Sean Tucker was one of them.
Yeah, he was fifth, but yeah, it's excellent. I mean, I think it's definitely a conversation to have. I think we're gonna know. Look, and we'll get into this Tuesday, but FSU is not the FSU I thought they were gonna be.
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, we are coming out as underdogs, but
that's
fine.
fine.
Who knows? This could be a whole thing too, Sean, where like maybe we just don't know how good Sean Tucker is.
Yeah, like what's his ceiling?
It's like one of those things where it's like we just got to have somebody out there that's going to give that option to run because Sean Tucker's this good. You know, I really do think that was one of the biggest things in that Rutgers game was Tommy not taking the chances that he had to run when they were given to keep the defense honest, to be able to allow Sean Tucker to still be able to run. I think that was one of the biggest things. And when you heard Dino talking about, we need to look and see who's doing what on what plays. And, if they're seeing Tommy not keeping it enough when he should be keeping it and not making the right reads, then you got to be able to make that happen, because ultimately Sean Tucker is going to be your bell cow. It's going to be your guy. And it seems to me like that's what it is. This guy is he got 32 carries, 2 catches, 34 touches. This is the guy that's going to get us a chance to beat these teams, and we need to be able to get him the ball as much as possible. And if we need Garrett Schrader in there to be able to keep the ball, to be able to keep the defense honest, to be able to keep those lanes open, then that's what we need.
I think too that we're going to see the offense evolve. Obviously, I think we saw a major step in the evolution in the game against Liberty, but not only that, the confirmation in the press conference from Dino, once he gets a handle of how he wants to run with this, he did change game plans totally when he realized, DeVito was going to be what he was. And he's done it before. He had a great year. A lot of people bagged on Coach early this season, especially after the Rutgers loss. And he deserved some of that criticism. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
We did it here. There's been some questionable things. But when he is dealt a hand, no matter what it is, he tries to make the best out of it, and you have to trust that effort. And I think like I said, I think we're going to get to see this offense evolve over the years. So what are we, a third of the way through the season now? And, the next the next 4 games are going to tell a lot. We're sitting here waiting. Oh, well, what's our identity? Well, I think we've seen it. I think we see it. It's going to be a mixed bag. That's our identity.
Well, dude, and with this running back room, why wouldn't we be?
And that's another thing. Can I just say,
Abdul
Adams should get a couple more carries. He had 2.
Jarvion's done good when he's come in.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. Realistically, when you look at it, he's been sitting here trying to figure out, a quarterback situation, this, and that. When realistically, what he should be figuring out is which quarterback is going to be most helpful for the running back room, which is the strength of our offense. It's obvious that our offensive line is way better is a way better run blocking offensive line than a pass blocking offensive line.
With
right?
Chris Bleich, the addition of him, and obviously everybody else being healthy, it's been huge. The gaps are huge.
To look at, we didn't put up total yards 305 against Liberty. Okay. But they were a really good defense and ranked a good defense, and we rushed for 228 yards. We kind of kept it vanilla. We did our RPOs, and our offensive line dominated. We dominated the trenches, and if that's what it's going to be, and our running back room is the best room, then why wouldn't we take advantage of that? So whether it be Sean Tucker, Abdul Adams, Jarvion Howard, Cooper Lutz, I don't care. They've all proven that they can do it, and why wouldn't you just do this? You got to don't worry about who's going to be the best quarterback for maybe going fast. Let's look at who's going to be the best quarterback for this really good run blocking offensive line with this really great running back room, and who's going to be able to help them out the best. And I think right now it's Garrett Schrader.
I think I saw a. Oh, I think I have it. So we'll talk about it in a second. To our points, the points that we just made, kind of. This was next on the list. Just happens to be we already kind of hit it. But Anthony on Facebook. This offense can't stay traditional. Dino has success with the unconventional quarterback play in his tenure, and that just goes. That's what I meant about him. Kind of calling audibles with, literally and figuratively with Dungy, and kind of doing the same thing now. Like, I'm sure Dino came into the year thinking, okay, I'm going to have one quarterback. These guys are going to duel it out. It's going to be black or white. We're going to get this done in the fall and then be done with it. And then when we start our first game, we'll know who it is. But obviously it didn't work like that. So anyway,
what it is. Garrett Schrader's a better running back. He's a better running quarterback, and DeVito's a better passing quarterback. The problem is that our running back room is better than our receiver room.
Right.
And our offensive line is better running line.
Blocking line. Yeah, we just hit all that. Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah. Dan on Facebook, Garrett Schrader provides a different dimension to this team. Just got to get the passing down. Yeah. To Joe's point that he was just making. Yes, it's a huge addition. It's a juggernaut almost. If both of these guys can get going, it's gonna be very difficult. Zach on Facebook, I could care less how ugly a win is. A win is a win, and I am ecstatic about that. We just need Service to calm down with the snaps, and both of Schrader's deep balls, while not catches, were on the money, which lead me to believe he can become serviceable in the passing department. He does that, and we are in business. Time for Gilbert to suck it up and make a real game plan for the kid. I think we're going to see it. I think the game plan we saw is the game plan they feel like he can handle right now. And once they see more in the passing game, and Joe mentioned it earlier, wide receivers not doing a whole lot of favors for Garrett Schrader and Tommy for that matter. It's just
right.
It's been a problem this year, and it's probably going to continue to be. I don't know if the win was ugly. I wouldn't have called that an ugly win. I mean, some of the passing was not great. Obviously, 77 yards, you want to see more than that, but I don't know if it was an ugly win.
No,
do you, Joe?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say no. I would say two teams that have better defenses than offenses at this point. That's really where I would hold that. Again, we're gonna have to figure out a way for us to get some short passes. Some, like I said, Tommy, a lot of times he diverted to the long balls and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be Schrader's bread and butter, and I think that we need to kind of develop some play action and other different plays, rollout pass plays that are more short to intermediate and that help the running game. You know what I mean? You get a 7-yard catch that helps the running game. You get 2nd and 3, you can run pretty much whatever you want. So I see them developing their pass game more of like a short yardage thing. Because like I said, the podcast before, I would rather take a quarterback that can run versus a quarterback that can throw a deep ball because, especially if that guy that can throw the deep ball can't really run or doesn't make the right reads. So, that's really where we're at right now. And right now it's, we have this running game, and can Garrett Schrader get a little bit of a passing game and, help out the situation? That's really where we're at right now. If it doesn't get better, then maybe we see Tommy later. But again, like I've said before, Tommy needs to use his feet. If he doesn't, then he's really not helping.
At Marty Maloney, Tommy D needs to be the QB. Okay, well, he's going to be.
How?
And so is Garrett. They're both going to be the QB. I mean, I don't know how. Coming into this game, neither one of them really showed me, from just a visual standpoint watching the games, neither one really stood out like the clear starter for this team. So it comes down to emotion, and it comes down, I guess, for a lot of fans on who you like better. And
right. But this is the deal, bro. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, everybody's going to might be partial to the guy that's been around longer, and feel like, the past couple of years, he has dealt with a less than great offensive line, and that this was his season to show what he could do. But we all saw the Ohio game, and we all saw the Rutgers game, and it didn't jump off the page to me, guys. I'm sorry. And not that Garrett Schrader's jumping off the page to me either. I'm just saying I didn't see it.
No, he didn't throw an interception. And on top of that, Liberty only had 1 sack.
True.
So, I mean, that's one of those things where...
We had 6, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, we did. But if Tommy starts, then I bet you we get sacked more than once. So that's really where I come from, is that, like, I can't even say... I think this is the first game that we've played where I can really say that... first game that we've won where I can say that I think we would have won if the other quarterback played. Because I know that if Garrett Schrader started the whole game against Ohio or Tommy, vice versa, we would have won that game. Same thing with Albany. And this is the first game that we played where I can't specifically say that if Tommy started that we would have won. And it's those rushing yards, those rushing touchdowns, the 1 sack. Those are the little things. And the way the game was called, like no interceptions. Those are the little things that tell me that, sorry, the receivers, it was probably a boring game for them. I get it. I've been there.
Block.
Yep. I've been there, dude. My senior year, I caught 12 passes my whole season. So I get it. Going down and blocking every single play is not fun, but it's necessary. And what we ran and what we called and who we started, it worked. So I don't know how somebody can come out and say DeVito needs to be the starter when I can't even definitively say that we win that game if DeVito starts.
And I think I'm there with you on that end of it. I think Coach is there with you too. He said as much. He didn't say that, but he said, look, I felt like Garrett was better for this situation. And that's why he started. And it was a late decision. And he probably stewed on it. And honestly, just knowing the type of person Dino Babers is, he probably freaking was hating having to do that. And
I get that. And sadly, if he would have done it in Rutgers, he might be 4-0.
And
so he finally pulled the trigger.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility.
We might be completely off on that because 2 weeks, it's a lot. And with that experience, maybe he's learned the offense a little bit more. But we saw a completely different type of play call.
Yeah, the game was totally different from almost from the beginning of the game.
Right.
Yeah. Because Tommy started the game, so it was going to be different. At Cuse Life for 15, Tony White for MVP of the game. D gets the W. Schrader showed another example of game management aside from decently good running and RPO. Game won by Tucker. D and limited mistakes. 6 for 15, 77 pass yards will not help you win every game. Need some sort of vertical passing going into ACC play. Absolutely. But they did cut down mistakes. We talked a lot about that after the Albany game. They're going to make mistakes. You're going to have a couple penalties here and there, but they weren't terrible, awful, stupid penalties. And compared to the Albany game, there's no way they win this game with that type of performance. But yeah, they cleaned it up. And going forward, hopefully we see something different. I think if some of the distractions and maybe the pressure for these two quarterbacks and just the team in general, if Coach sits down and has a kumbaya moment with them and it's like, look, this is how we're going to do it. It's going to be game to game. We're going to watch tape. We're going to figure it out. We're going to go from there. That's it. I don't know what else you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing, too, about this is, like, I look at Liberty's comparable to some of these teams in the ACC that we're going to be playing. I mean, like you said, fringe 25, top 25 team, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're going to be good going
with
forward,
NFL
too.
Quarterback, right? So, like,
yeah.
Maybe this does work against some of the teams that we play against.
I don't think it's a question that it won't. I mean, I absolutely agree. I think, but who?
Well,
I don't know.
We're at the point where you got to prove that you got to stop it, right?
Right.
Florida State's got to Florida State, we're coming up. We're going down to Florida State. Sean Tucker's coming to town.
Yeah.
And you got to stop it before we figure out stuff.
And
I think that's pretty much where we should start. And I can see that's why I see Garrett starting a lot of the games, because we're going to make you beat that first. We're going to make you beat Tucker and Schrader's legs first. And if you don't, or you can't, or we're in the game, then that's where we're going to stay. But if we need some type of change, then you come in and you bring him in like we brought him in when Dungy was there as a freshman, and he came in and he as long as he's focused and he's ready to go, and we have some type of plays that are completely different, I can see something like that where you start Schrader and it's like, we're going to play this, we're going to set up this. But if Tommy comes in, then we're going to throw these plays in here that completely pretty much set up exactly against what we've been doing to maybe help him complete some passes and maybe change the offense. I don't know who it's going to be or when we're going to see that, but we shall see. You got to stop Sean Tucker first.
You got to stop Sean Tucker. I think we need to go a little bit deeper with the running backs. I think
we should.
I think also we can start to get a little bit cute with it. Maybe not too cute, but it's time to evolve the playbook a little bit and play to the strengths of each one of these guys. And obviously keeping fresh legs out there is a big thing. But the chemistry. Like I said, the more we go, the longer this thing goes throughout the year, the more chemistry these guys got, and I think I think it'll come together. I think we're going to see something kind of. It's going to be different, but it's going to be fun to watch come together. Hopefully,
dude, that
I hope
defense,
I'm right.
man.
Yeah.
Did you see that play last night where they had the linebackers
last night?
And they kept going back and forth? Or sorry, Friday night.
Yes.
They kept going back and forth, back and forth, and they were just messing with him.
Yes.
Dude, this defense is pretty nuanced. They know what they're doing. As long as our D-backs can hold up, like I said, I'm pretty confident that this defense is for real. And
oh yeah, I don't think it's a question.
And it's a different team, so there's a reason to be excited for sure. Being 3-1 right here, right now, I didn't think that we were going to be here after we lost to Rutgers, because I thought Rutgers was going to be the W. I thought we were going to lose to Liberty. But being 3-1, just like we all talked about, right where we need to be. And really, when you look at it, the ACC, they look weak. Clemson's the first time they've lost 2 games in September and for however long, Yeah.
When was the last time they lost 2 regular season games? I don't remember when.
Yeah, that too. But again, losing in September, right? So, and they're getting a whole bunch of injuries. NC State's got some injuries. Now, Wake Forest looks all right, but Boston College, they look good, but their quarterback got hurt. So, again, this right now, this ACC is up in the air. And it's talk about coastal crazy. That other side, watching Georgia Tech beat North Carolina, all these other teams struggling.
They whooped them, too. They weren't playing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Was it
Virginia?
Yeah,
Virginia lost to Wake Forest. There was
no one saw that coming.
No, dude. This ACC right now is crazy up for grabs, and we haven't even played a game yet. So
yeah,
and we're just happen to be playing against Florida State, who a lot of people look at as the worst team in the ACC. So.
At Stretch Jones on Twitter, and that's why Mississippi State put him as a tight end. Kid's arm is garbage. Fans got what they wanted. A Dungy that can't throw. Orange is the new one dimension. Tucker running great. Tucker running, great win, but ACC teams will stack the box and stop the quarterback run. Well, it depends on how cute you get with it. Yeah, it's easier said than done, I think. Obviously, Liberty was trying to do the same thing, and the offensive line was overpowering them and just was not working. So, Orange is the new one-dimensional. It's good. That's good. I like it. But I just disagree. I disagree. And with just to give him the benefit of the doubt, I don't know if he posted this before or after the press conference, or if he even listened to the press conference, but the press conference gave me, I keep going back to it because it gave me an understanding of what the game plan is kind of going to be. And it gave me a little bit more confidence in Dino Babers, because we've all been questioning him a little bit. And I think that going forward, this team is not one dimensional. I think I think it's really difficult to decide. If you got so they're going to have to prepare for both quarterbacks. Every team is going to have to prepare for both quarterbacks every time. That's not exactly the easiest thing to do. Just because you know what you're getting with each one doesn't mean you're going to be able to stop it. But let's be honest and be honest. Be honest. Tommy's not lighting, look, he's not lighting it up for me through the air. He hasn't. No. I've given him the benefit of the doubt. This is, with the offensive line stuff and this and that and some of the bad, the just crappy decisions he's made in the past, and clean that up. And, we all expected more out of him coming in to play for SU. But I mean, to be this cynical about it, I just don't know if it's justified by what I've seen from Tommy. And that's not a dig on Tommy. It's just a fact. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I've seen enough from Tommy to justify some of the things I saw on social media, because I just don't. And if I did, I'd tell you.
Yeah, and part of it is the receivers don't even give it justification to be able to
that
start
too,
because,
yeah.
I mean, realistically, you got to go with your strengths. Our strengths, like I said, over and over again, is our rushing, our run blocking from our offensive line, and
Sean Tucker,
our running backs, right? So at the end of the day, these receivers haven't shown enough to even be able to say, let's go fast and spread it out, because even with Tommy in there, they're really not.
Hey, you could
doing
put freaking
what they need to
Tom
do,
Brady
right?
in there.
So,
if they can't catch the damn ball, then what the hell good are they?
But what you can do is you can start Garrett Schrader with Sean Tucker and these running backs and give yourself your RPO option with your runs, and you can start developing some type of pass offense with your receivers, short passes, stuff like that. And then timely, your timely play actions and hitting guys deep, because you can't just one-on-one Taj Harris. Damian Alford, 6'4", 6'5". He's one of those guys where it's tough for him to not have a safety above, up top him either, because he can go up there and he can just catch a one-on-one catch. So already you're talking about a situation where you do have some receivers, if you are mainly running, where you're still daring the safeties to come step up, because are you going to let these guys go man-to-man? And, that's where we need to get better. And we'll only see that with time. But
it's going to be fun to see that with time. It's going to be fun to see everything with time. Mm-hmm. I went from just, I don't want to say I don't have faith in the team, but I was towards the pessimistic end, depending on how this game finished out. Right.
Right.
I just have done a 180 on it. After that, in the press conference, I just feel like, we've got something. Coach has got something. Let them figure it out. Let these quarterbacks settle in for the year, and we'll go from there. But the Cuse fan civil war is fun to watch. It's fun to watch because I'm totally neutral. I just want a W. I don't give a crap who's playing. I trust the coaches to make the right decision, call the right plays.
Right.
And if they don't, then I'll criticize it, and I'll do it right here.
Right.
That's it. So, that's all I got.
Well, and again, and that's where I come from, is it's not even me coming out and saying that I think that Garrett Schrader's a better quarterback than DeVito. I just think that it comes down to, again, styles and schemes, and, based upon the roster that you have in front of you, which quarterback gives you the best chance to win. And I think right now is Garrett Schrader. And again, that's not a dig to DeVito. And if he ends up deciding he wants to transfer this week and go somewhere where they can protect him and he's got, spread offense with a bunch of great receivers, then, so be it. I get it. But right now, where we're at, this was a smart move. And, partly the coaches won this game by making that
absolutely
move.
Yeah, well, go back to at Cuse Lifer 15. It said Tony White for MVP.
Defense coach is a different story. That guy's been on point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got him nothing to really get on him about.
I gained a lot of confidence in the coaching, and obviously we're going to have more fun things to criticize going forward. Right. It's just the nature of it. But, let's just all wait and see. Take a deep breath. Okay. The quarterback controversy, I think, should fizzle out. I love too that, and while we got just a couple minutes here. All right. some of the writing going to so I don't read anything before we do our preview, which is why we do it early, which is why we do it on Tuesday, because we usually get our preview out before almost anybody, because most of the writing comes out Tuesday night or or Wednesday morning. I mean, I was reading some, and I don't read a lot of post game stuff either. I just watch the game and Joe and I talk and kind of go from there and listen to the press conference. But I was reading some of the preview stuff and like, okay, if you're still, one of these people who thinks that Tommy DeVito's not going to start, what are you watching, basically? So I think it's great what Coach did in just fooling us all into that, because when you called me Friday, I wasn't on social media looking around at anything, and you called me like, Garrett, I thought you were messing with me. I'm like, shut up. But anyways, good move.
I thought Mike McAllister was messing with me.
Good move by Coach, and it got everybody ruffled up, which was fun to see. And on the road, we'll be back Tuesday, doing a FSU preview. Obviously, they're having struggles of their own, but Syracuse is going to go on the road for the first real road test. Yeah.
Different year.
First real road test of the season. Guys, we appreciate all of you for hanging out with us. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.